Hello, people. If you're like me, you were a dumb kid once, and as a dumb kid, you traded in all of your video games and your old consoles for the new ones. And now that I'm an adult and I have disposable income, I can finally re-buy all those wonderful games and even buy some new ones that I never got to play before. So in short, this is a video game haul. So recently I bought a bunch of Xbox 360 games. Xbox 360 was my main system at the time, so that's the one that I'm the most fond over out of the PS3 and the 360. So I rebought a few of the games that I used to have. The first couple games that I rebought was Battlefield Bad Company. These games were phenomenal. If you ever have played it, you know that there's a lot of humor with these games. It's not just your traditional war shooter like Call of Duty. It's not serious. It doesn't try to be it does try to be over the top, but it puts a more comedic spin to it. Their characters, I feel, are a little bit more flushed out than Call of Duty. Also, they're just more personable and just more fun to interact with and play. And when I bought these, I actually found these games sealed in the box, brand new, and which surprised me because I didn't think I would find actual sealed games. And you may be wondering, well, if you found them sealed, why did you open them up? Well, that's because video games are meant to be played, and I'm only gonna buy video games for my collection that I'm going to play. Next on the list is a game that I haven't played before. It is Singularity, and if you know anything about this game, tell me if you like it, because I still need to play it, but I do have the gist of it. It is kind of that alternate history sci-fi shooter. It has a unique spin on time travel. You can go back in history, kill a guy, and go back to the future, and he's dead in the game. It's almost like BioShock, if you've ever played that, except maybe not as good. BioShock was a genre-defining game, and a lot of games kind of use that as a springboard to kind of imitate it and copy it. And this is kind of one of those games, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, it still has its own unique take, and it is a fun game. So another game I'm adding to my collection that I've never had before was Enslaved Odyssey to the West. This game kind of tells the story of that old Chinese story of Journey to the West, but it kind of puts its own unique take on it. It's a game that I never played. I've heard really good things about it. It's made by Ninja Theory, and if you've ever played any Ninja Theory game like Hellblade, they're fantastic games. But no, I wanted to try it out, see how it was. The game was critically praised, but didn't have any financial success, so we never saw a sequel to it. But yeah, it's a game that I'm willing to try out, add to my collection. Another game I kind of just had to have, mainly for the nostalgia of it, was Deadpool for the 360. So yes, it has been re-released on PS4 and Xbox One. But why play it on those two systems when they didn't really do any upgrades to it? Plus, it's cheaper on the 360 anyways. But it is an overall fun time. If you like Marvel and you like Deadpool as a character, I suggest anyone that is a fan of Deadpool play it. It has Nolan North as the main actor, so you can't go wrong there. So here's a few games that I bought just for the hell of it. I haven't played these before, but it's kind of for shits and giggles. I've always kind of wanted to play these, but it's Sneak King, Pocket Bike Racer, and Big Bumpin'. Yes, these are all the Burger King 360 games that you could only get at Burger King. If you do want to play them, they're like $2 anywhere that you can kind of find them. $2 to $5, depending on what video game store that you go to. But overall, they're just kind of silly, wacky games that... honestly, they're just fun because of how weird they are. It's just strange to me how Burger King thought it'd be such a good idea to make video games based on the King. Like, Sneak King is so creepy, but, God, I just love it for the weirdness aspect of it. And I think it's a valid addition to anybody's 360 collection. There's tons of them out there, so you can find them pretty cheap. But anywho, that's why I kind of bought those. Now here's another game that I really love. It is Spec Ops The Line. So this game has such a fantastic story to it. It's not just your traditional war game. Like, it has quite the commentary on the horrors of war, and not a lot of games touch on the horrors of war and just how devastating it can be to the psyche of the soldier. And with this game, it was marketed more as that traditional, like, Call of Duty-esque shooter. But once you start playing it, you kind of get the feeling of, oh shit, this is really different. It has a great cast with Nolan North as the star of the game. Yes, Nolan North. Him and Troy Baker are like the two guys that are in pretty much every video game, and they're fantastic, but only Nolan North is in this game. And this game's story has such a unique twist. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't played this game. This, again, was a critical success, but it was not a financial success, so it did not see a lot of sales. So if you do have the chance to play this game, I highly recommend it. It's not just your traditional shooter. If you're really into a good story in video games with some fun action scenes, I highly recommend Spec Ops The Line. To me, it's like a 9 out of 10. Plus, it's another game you can kind of find for fairly cheap. I think I paid like 15 to 18 bucks for this. I don't remember. But anywho, that was my Xbox 360 game haul. If you're interested in seeing more of my game hauls, let me know in the comments below, because I do want to do more of these. I'm always kind of buying video games to add to my collection, because I was that dumb kid that sold off my entire 360 collection when the PS4 and Xbox One came out. But if you like what I'm doing here and you want to see more video game plays or even just more game hauls, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.